Hello everyone, it's FCA. This is really late. I'm sorry. My schedule and my life and my sanity have been completely off kilter, and the entire month of June and forever before that. 2017 just hasn't been my year. And I'm a person, I try to be happy. I have a little bit too much of a temper, a little too much anger, and you need something to bring you out of that. Because you get to these really low points, and you need something that gives you light at the end of the tunnel that's not heaven. So what do you need? I'm sorry about my voice. I haven't been sleeping, and my voice is... Anyway, back to what we're talking about here. When you need something to bring you up, you need to escape reality but have realistic hope, I suggest you reach for this amazing book series. This is by Janet Evanovich. This is a well-acclaimed, award-winning book. Stephanie Plum, this is the book that introduces Stephanie Plum. It says so right there, a novel introducing Stephanie Plum. And this is presumably her eyes, and it's One for the Money. One for the Money is absolutely hilarious. I love this. Look at this, like a bullet whizzing by with the eyes and this. I love it. I think that's a great cover. You shouldn't judge a book by its cover, but if you're going to, bye-bye. I have read through this book. This is the tag for the library. And I have read through 2 for the Dough and 3 to Get Deadly. Surely you can see where we're going with this. So that's the first thing. I love there's 2 guns here, and there's a gun here, and then there's 2 lipstick bullets because, the lipstick part's called a bullet. Ha-ha. And then this one has Moe's Hot Shots. And that becomes important to the story. I won't give anything away too much. Slight spoiler warning because I'm bragging and really excited about the book. Now, this was released in 94 or 95. So we need to keep that in mind if you're going to read this book. If this girl would have had a cell phone here, her life would have been saved a lot more. But this is female empowerment at its best, because it shows a woman who is desperate. She's about to lose her apartment. Her name is Stephanie Plum. Introducing Stephanie Plum. And this poor girl, it's so, the way the narration is, it makes you laugh. I've laughed out loud, and it's funny to the point where you're like, you have to stop reading for a couple seconds to recompose yourself, because some of these things are just so funny. And of course, you're going to have to read it to get that. But I'm bragging about this book because I'm a person, I can't do sci-fi. I can't do fantasy. And I like some comic book things, but it's hard for me to get into that, complete things. I need realism. Realism is a word I can say. I need something I can grab onto. And this girl is this poverty-stricken cynic who is desperate to get money. And so she blackmails her cousin after she's divorced. She loses her job. She's 30 years old and she doesn't have a college degree. And so out of desperation, after she's hawked, pawned, and sold most of her jewelry and appliances and furniture, she becomes a bounty hunter for her cousin's bail bondsman thing, and she does it by blackmailing him. And that's fantastic. And I like this because it puts... I like to see women or somebody who's considered a minority, I like to see them win and overcome adversity. I don't like to see them being thrown a bone. I like to see them using their own skills and showing that despite everything, because this whole novel, everyone's telling her that she can't do this job as a bounty hunter, that she just can't. and she ends up being really bad at it, but she succeeds. And I love that. I love that she fails, and you see her fail. You see her come to these dead ends. But when she gets success, when she manages by either some kind of pure luck or just she's had enough of this, when she does get to be successful, which is usually just the smallest margin of success, you're like, yes, and I feel like that's what life is like. We mostly go through bad things and we hit these happy points and peaks of yes, and those are the peaks that keep us going. If I could get one of those peaks at some point, that would be fantastic, and thank goodness I found one in these books. The main character is very relatable. She's not this gorgeous, beautiful, amazing person. She looks good enough. She's average. And that's great. I don't want this elusively wonder beauty. I want somebody, I look across the street and I could go, that could be her. I like that. I love how funny she is. I love that you get to see, it's a crime fiction. If you were a guy or a girl, you're going to love this. Now, there is a little bit of raunchiness, but it's not too graphic. There's no extreme details. A lot of it's just, here's what's going on, you get the idea. Where it gets graphic is with the violence. This is a very violently graphic novel. Now, there's no pictures, but it's very detailed. There's a lot of shooting out, and so if you're a person who's against violence, that you're not gonna like this one. But there's a bullet going across the screen, across the cover, and it's a crime fiction. If you weren't expecting violence, then you're in the wrong world. I mean, in universe-wise. But this is great. As I said, I love seeing this character fail to see her be successful on her own. And the best part is she doesn't do it entirely alone. She's just like, I need help. I need all the help I can get. I'm going to die. And she gets really close to it multiple times. And you see her, it's set up so perfectly because she gets these bits of luck that just save her. But they're realistic luck. It's not like, oh wow, that was a shot nobody would have ever really made. It's like oh, I'm glad she did that before, that saved her. And we've all had those moments. And that's what makes this relatable. That's what makes these great. We've all had those moments of, we did something that saved us later. And I think everyone has those, where some little innocuous, seemingly so, thing that we did or said before saved us in the future. And sometimes they're bigger than others, and that's what you get with this. There's nothing that you couldn't see happening. It opens your eyes to a dark world, but with a hint of light. You get to see lots of the characters, and you see them as fallible, and that's what I love. Every character in here has a downside. Everyone who's an emphatic character, you get to see their fall points. You get to see them fail. You get to see their stress and their struggle, and I like that. It makes me feel not alone. 2, it gives me hope, and 3, it really gives you a sense of everyone has problems. I can get through mine. And that's what I need. And I think that's what a lot of us need. So if you want something, and it's funny, it's going to make you laugh, and that's going to make you go a little bit more. It's interesting. There's not a whole lot of pages. It's about 290 is roughly, 290, 300 is about the page book here. But it's interesting. It's constant. And it's paced perfectly. The best thing about these novels is this one's one for the money. I highly suggest it. It's funny. You get the introduction of this amazing character and heroine, Wonder. But if you were to grab, this is 3 for the 3 to get deadly. 1, you know what they all are, because 1 for the money, 2 for the dough. All of them are right there. The number of what number it is in the series is right there on the spine. The other thing is, if you picked up number 3 or this is how it's been for these 3. I haven't read 4 or beyond 4. But if you were to pick number 2 or number 3 off of the shelf, you get enough like prologue basic recovery information that's imperative to the character. If you want the deep details, obviously read the first one. But you get enough background that each of the stories holds up as their own individual thing, and no one comes out of nowhere. Everyone is explained in every book, and so everything you need is there. Like I said, you can read it in order as a series, or you could just grab one because your library doesn't carry 1 and 2. It only carries number 3 or whatever the case is. You're not going to be lost. It's not heavily reliant that you read them in order. Obviously that would be preferential, but if you can't, or you really like one and you're recommending it to a friend, that's fine, because they can hold their own as a standalone novel without relying on the series to do that, and that's something that I personally really treasure. So I'm going to I'll leave you with that. Janet Evanovich's 1 for the Money is fantastic, and I'm bragging about it as my FCA Friday. I have to go upload this, and that's going to be a mess because life hasn't been working out. But at least I have Stephanie Plum.